everybody, this is Jody Faith, and I welcome you to another episode of Talking Hats. Today I have two lovely ladies with me. I'm excited to introduce you all to these lovely ladies. They're from the See, I'm going to get it wrong. Let's do this correctly.
The Niitsitapi Cookums.
The Niitsitapi Cookums. And I've been following my new friend, Chick. I've been following her on Facebook for a couple, probably close to 2 years. Does that seem about right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and part of the reason why is because I, in my own personal story, have a son who has battled addictions, and homelessness has been part of our story. He's had a real heart of compassion towards people that are hurting. And I think because of that, I've become really aware of what's happening in Medicine Hat. I would say that as part of our Talking Hats show, what we like to do to start out is just invite Chick and Ivana to tell your stories a little bit. How long have you guys been in Medicine Hat? Maybe we'll start with you, Chick.
Well, I was born in Calgary, and I moved to Many Berries when I was about 11, so grew up in the, Many Berries area just south of here.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Medicine Hat into my early 20s, I guess, or maybe late teens, about 18, 19.
Okay.
So I'm 55 now. We won't do the math, but, you kind of get the gist. So, yeah.
Been here for a while.
Yes.
And what are some of the other hats that you wear in your life? What kinds of aspects of life are you immersed in?
Well, right now, my main role is, grandmother and mother, whichever order you want to put it. Yeah, whatever order you want to put it in. Yes, cookum means grandmother.
Yes.
And so I am very active in the community. I have been off and on throughout the years, but not quite like this. I'm just kind of got my hands into a lot of things with helping people, and it's been amazing because the support that's come out from all of this.
Awesome.
And it's not just, it's not just a one-person show, as
and I think there was maybe a time when you felt a little bit alone in what you were doing.
No, there wasn't. No, not at all, because I had a great support system.
Right away.
She's my right-hand man.
Well, that is good for me to hear.
When I want something done, I don't, if I need her to cry on her shoulder, she's there. If whenever I've been in so many different situations with her, she's my go-to.
Aw,
because
I love that.
The trust is there, and the relationship that we built up throughout the years working on a few different projects. One of them was Flood the Park. We worked on that together.
Okay.
Back in 2008, 2009, something like that.
Okay.
Was that before MHPI or Spirit Society? Around that time anyways, so I've been a paranormal investigator, the researcher, head researcher for our paranormal investigating teams that we had, which was Medicine Hat Paranormal. And
I'm not even familiar with this, but that goes back to mid
2008. Yeah, about that time. 2008, long time. Yeah.
And that's kind of where you guys connected originally?
Originally, yes.
Okay.
We became really good friends at where we worked.
Okay.
And it just has been absolutely amazing.
Oh, I love that. So you're a mama, you're a grandma, you're a friend, you're a community advocate and volunteer. All right, love that. Can we move on to Ivana? Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm a mom.
Okay.
I've worked in the healthcare field. I've worked in education. I've always kind of been the carer.
Okay.
If somebody needs something, I like to do that. I've always been pulled to help.
A little bit hands-on, kind of wanting to get in there. And love it.
And anytime somebody needs something, if I can do it, just want
to be available.
Just be there, help out however I can.
Awesome.
I like to be in the background, but I do like to help.
Well, and thank you for being here. It is not always comfortable. I know a lot of people at home probably enjoy hearing the stories, and I just want to say hats off to you for being willing to be here, Ivana, because it is not always everybody's favorite place to be in front of the camera, especially if you're behind the scenes kind of group. And I think you guys are to a certain degree. A lot of what you're doing is behind the scenes. So I just want to share that what happened to me particularly and meeting Geraldine. So in my mind, I always think of you as Geraldine Lidberg because that's your name on Facebook. And I started following you because I became aware of the fact that it was cold like crazy, and you had made a commitment to feed those that were on the streets right here in Medicine Hat. And I just want to say that there's this sort of big, interesting miscommunication, in my opinion, that says that Medicine Hat doesn't have homeless people or people that are struggling. And I think you guys have seen that first and foremost, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. But we're beyond that now. We're over that.
Yeah.
We're over that. So what we're doing now is we're focusing on basically feeding them.
Yeah.
It started out actually handing out blankets.
Okay.
It started where, I'm an insomniac, being a spiritual person. I, try to, what can I do? I can't sleep. I need to be doing something. And so I ventured out in my van at 3 a.m, getting a coffee, stopping off at Tim Hortons. And I'm just doing what I normally do. Hey, what do you need?
Because you were meeting people that were outside.
And I started handing out blankets.
I love it.
And I wasn't the only one doing it.
Sure.
So we just, it just progressed from there. And we found out they weren't eating on the weekends as often as, I believe that one of the churches downtown was offering a bag lunch or something like that on Saturday, but then nobody was, feeding them for the rest of the day or Sunday. They were getting fed very well from Monday to Friday.
Yes. My son, who was homeless in Medicine Hat, he said, "Mom, I'll tell you one thing you never have to worry about is me getting fed." And I'm always, well, praise the Lord. Because for me, as a mama or a kukum, those are huge issues for us, because that's what we've been able to be in our kids' lives, is the source of nurture and food or whatever. And
it's comfort.
It is comfort.
Mashed potatoes. You can't get more comfort in home cooking than that.
Yes.
And we do feed a lot of mashed potatoes.
I love that.
Right. So it's just something that we felt that needed to be explored.
Isn't that fun too? Ridiculous but crazy but awesome is that because you were an insomniac,
right,
you were just getting out of the house and just trying to busy yourself, and all of a sudden here's this need. It's right in front of you. And I do remember some of the posts on Facebook, if anybody has any blankets. And ironically, a lot of us do our purging earlier in the season or whatever, and I thought, oh man, here's a woman who is out there, right? And I love that. Tell me, Ivana, do you help with food prep also then?
Yeah, so when we first started, we were doing what we could with what we had for donations.
Sure.
And then there was a young gentleman that needed some help at where I work, and so I assisted him. And because I helped him, he went to his family who lives on the colonies. And when they found out that I helped their son, they started sending, every 2 weeks, they would send us food. And then that progressed to his mom sending, and then his sister-in-law started to send. So that's how we were able to, every weekend we had hot, really nourishing meals, is because the colonies are helping us.
Oh, isn't that
because
awesome?
Their son needed help. So it came full circle.
Oh my gosh. And what a sort of intergenerational, interdenominational, intercultural sort of organization.
There's no borders. There's no borders with this.
That is beautiful.
It's all nations.
It's
all nations. And as a matter of fact, at the end of September, September is Truth and Reconciliation Month for the Indigenous people. And we are actually we did a call out for the healers.
Okay.
We want to host a healing event at one of the parks in town. We'll have more information about it.
Okay.
But it's all nations that need to come together. There needs to be a great big healing.
Yes.
And we need to do it fast. Okay. You know,
yeah.
Creator is the one that's working. Yes. And he's bringing everyone together, and that's what's happening, right?
Love that.
So,
and that's a new thing then. This
healing circle event is a brand new thing that just kind of popped up the past couple of weeks.
Okay.
Right. And you know how Creator works in mysterious ways, and boom, it's just been phenomenal.
I love it.
And it's very needed, especially in Medicine Hat, with our street folk as well. It's including everyone. It's going to be inclusive to everyone, right? So it's one of those things that it's needed. It's time we stop pointing fingers. Yes. It's time we stop placing blame. It's time we stop the judgment.
Yes.
It's time we all come together and realize that we can sit here and talk till we're blue in the face till the cows come home, whose fault it is.
Sure.
But now we have to step up. Yep. Now we need reconciliation.
I love
and
that.
If this is what it's going to take, you know, to help these guys heal not just the street folk, but as a community coming together, because there is so much diversity out there.
Yes. Yes.
There's so much negativity out there.
Yes.
And I'll be the first one to admit, I've come to defenses, and I just stopped it now. Yep. I just stopped it. I'm tired of it. Yep. We need to come together and we need to heal.
Well, you did it right off the top with this show. Absolutely. You said we're not going to talk about what has been said. We're not going to talk about what misunderstandings or miscommunication there has been. We are going to say, here we are now.
Yes.
And I want to say that I really believe that each one of us needs to step into this next season, and it's going to be a season that could change our world.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so I love that. I love that we can be proactive about where we're going to go.
Yes.
Or we can be stuck. And who of us needs to be stuck?
That's right.
Let us do this differently. And let us model to our children and grandchildren, to the next generations, that we are a people who think differently.
We are
excited about the future.
That we are a people that, you know, we listen to the prayers. We listen to our ancestors when they spoke to us. We have that ability to go back in history and recall that. But we learn from it.
Sure.
We move past it, and we learn from it now. And so we get to the big issue now, which is the healing part of it.
Yay.
We've gone through it all.
Yes.
Let's get to the healing part of it.
Love it.
We have those 94 TRC, you know, actions that need to be, you know, still fulfilled. Those are there for a reason.
Yes.
And this is just part of it all coming together as a community coming together in healing. There's no borders. There's no,
love that.
There's no, you know, animosity. It's just, we're here to get the job done.
Let's get the job done.
And let's get the job done.
Well, and I think you girls, if I just take this little snapshot of who you are among the Cookums, like here you are, Aboriginal, Caucasian. Right? Here you are from outside of Medicine Hat, from Medicine Hat, because this is larger than just what's happening right here downtown Medicine Hat.
That's
but
right.
You do have a location where you operate your meetings and that kind of things out of still, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about that, Ivana.
So our meetings are held at a business in Redcliffe.
Okay.
That's where we have our meetings.
Yep.
Everybody comes to a central location there because that's where storage is.
Nice.
So we store everything we need for our patrols. They run on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Okay.
So we have volunteers that go out.
Okay, tell me, what if I was going to volunteer to be part of a patrol, what does that actually look like?
That's an hour and a half of your time.
Okay.
Once a week.
Okay.
And you're going to hand out water, socks, and underwear, maybe some clothes, harm reduction, toothpaste, sunscreen because it's summertime right now.
Right.
You know, snacks. So in an hour and a half, you help 40, 50 people.
I love that.
And it only takes an hour and a half of your time.
Right.
It's not a long.
You know where we're going.
Yes.
That's the thing.
It helps us as well because we can keep, you know, I know who I'm looking for.
Sure.
So if somebody is missing and I haven't seen him, then I know who I have to, you know, got to keep my eye out.
Sure.
Because if somebody's looking for them, like people contact us, have you seen my son, or have you seen my daughter, have you seen, and if we know where they are, you know, it just, as a mom, if one of my children were in that position and I did not know where to look and I did not know what to do, I would like to know that somebody was helping that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We had a previous member actually that had experienced her son went missing, and she has tracked him down, thankfully. But so it's crucial that we maintain the relationship that we do within the whole community coming together.
Absolutely.
And we all looking out for one another, right? Because right now, as we said, there's all this division happening in this world, and people are just basically struggling and dealing with everything else on top of them, and so we start to operate from trauma.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And we've all operated from trauma.
Yeah.
And so this is one of those things that we're just there we're not putting a Band-Aid over things.
Right.
We're just there to feed people.
Yeah.
We're there to give them warm clothes.
Yeah.
We're there to do what hopefully their grandmother did with them, because we do get a lot of, my grandmother used to say that to me all the time, because, or, oh, my grandmother used to make this for me all the time, right?
Yeah.
Let them know that they're loved, because there's a lack of love that's happening on our streets. There's a lack of love happening in our world.
Absolutely.
Just essentially all together,
Yeah.
right? So this isn't no hidden agenda either.
Right.
This is strictly about love and human caring, humanitarian work, all of it.
Yeah.
That's all it is bringing the community together.
Yeah, there are definite cynicism or, opinions that arise when you're trying to help people, that they aren't necessarily going to trust you. Right. Whereas you guys have a face and a name, and they've gotten to know you because you are consistently out there. And even though you might be out with a few new team members or whatever, you're still the face of someone they've learned to trust. I know that there are times,
and they're actually still learning to trust us.
Sure.
It's not, it's going to be an always ongoing thing.
Absolutely.
They're always going to, trying to work on trusting us, and that's okay.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah. You don't go in with any expectations.
No,
you just
there's
come to serve
no
and
expectations. That's right.
Yeah.
You want a hug? Get over here. Bring it in.
Yeah.
I have no problem doing that. What breaks my heart is seeing the lack of connection, because the opposite of addiction is connection. And there's a lack of connection in this community.
I think that's
so let's bring that together.
My son is now in a recovery program. So he got off the street. He's been battling those addictions. He's working on sobriety, and it is a daily battle.
It is.
It's tough. But he says if we could just create that sense of community that he gets when he's on the street in the sober world, what a gift that would be. And I think that there has to be hope that whether it's governmental or whether it's community orientated or whether it's a combination of all those things, that there will be solutions that come about, right?
Yes.
And I mean, we can never ever give up that hope.
I'm telling you, I do have to rave about Medicine Hat, because the people that have been coming out and just wanting to help.
Yeah.
I don't care. We will take food, because that's a traditional thing. Our people used to feed people to get them healthy.
Sure.
And so, you know what I'm saying? So we're trying to do traditional foods as well as bone broth soups and stuff like that,
Well, that's
right?
actually how we met. There is something so soothing to the comfort that comes from that bowl of soup, isn't there?
Yes. You're knowing that you're actually getting non-processed foods, whole foods. I have family, some farmers just outside of the city that he does that. He processes all of his meats. He processes it himself, right?
Okay.
So they boil down the turkeys, because they, get the turkeys, the chickens, whatever. They boil down the broth for me. They can it for me. They bring it over. It's, you know what I'm saying?
Love it.
It's like, this is the whole foods that they're needing. They're getting the medicines that they need, like the teas, the healing, the honey.
Yeah.
Farm honey is important, especially because, you deal with infections and stuff like that on the street, right?
Sure.
So it's all of this is healing stuff that they need. And, unfortunately, we live in a world where there's weights. There's weights. Well, let's look at the big picture here and say, okay, we can't wait no more.
Right.
Now let's try and get in there with the Mother Earth's medicines.
Sure.
That's available to us.
Sure.
That a lot of people, and I mean, we have a huge network of people that I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this.
Yeah.
It's like, absolutely. So, it's important that we care for one another.
Yes.
And treat each other with kindness and
absolutely, and honoring the original with this grandmother type group, right?
The matriarchs.
So all of a sudden, intergenerationally, I was being connected to my past, right? And the mentorship that I received from my Oma. And there was this bond that came out of that. And, you know, my husband and I, we sing a song, Bring Back the Days When Grandmas Would Pray. It's written by a local artist here by the name of Grant Farmer. And he's given us permission to sing that and to also add the grandfather, because we don't ever want to take away from those good grandfather mentors that we've had also.
The grandfather teachings are very crucial to this and very important. They're just 7 simple teachings.
Tell us them.
And if you base your life around them, it's life-changing.
I love this.
I'm telling you.
I love this. So as a grandma group, as Cookums, when you gather as your family, right? Because you're coming together to obviously crisis management, like organizing inventories, like all those things that are going on. What would be the greatest need you guys have today?
Oh.
Wow.
Jeez. Well, honestly, it's just bring the love and the healing. If you're willing to do that, we'll put you wherever you want to work.
Okay.
Whether it's prepping, helping prep the food.
Okay, let's talk about that. When do you prep your food?
I prep on Fridays.
Okay.
At our commercial kitchen.
That's still in Red Deer?
That's in Redcliffe. A dear friend of mine.
Okay.
Allows us to use her commercial kitchen.
Okay.
So I prep on Fridays.
Okay.
And then it's cooked on Saturdays and Sundays and picked up and brought down.
Heated up.
Heated up.
Yeah. Heated.
Yeah. Brought down.
Yeah.
And then.
Okay, how's that working? Because your van died.
Oh, goodness.
How did you guys make out? Because I remember that was a big, and I was really praying that there would become solutions. I think I was actually away when that happened, and I remember thinking, oh, no, Geraldine, she has this, like, your band was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, talk about a warrior, that thing. I mean, I don't know that it was actually duct taped together, but it had that feeling.
Yeah.
And your old tables, but you would just open up that back latch, open up the back, put out those tables, and the food was being served. Like, it was just boom, you were right there. And then you ran into a bit of trouble with your vehicle.
Yes.
So how did that turn out?
Well, I do what I often do. I seek counsel from Creator.
Yes.
And him and I had a really good conversation. And I didn't know what area I really needed help in. I just summed it up to Creator. I need a miracle, because he knows what's needed.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
I just asked for a miracle when it came for the vehicle, because we needed it to feed people.
Yes.
And that's what I was worried about, as well as attending ceremonies in the summer. For me, my powwows are extremely important.
Okay.
Those are my ceremonies. That's where I go to heal.
Sure.
That's where
just to be empowered and refreshed and all those things too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I often talk to Creator in the best place, and that's in the forest that we have locally here.
Okay.
And, I did my praying, and I did my offering of tobacco and medicines.
Okay.
And I did ask for a miracle. And because I didn't know where to ask, what specifically to ask for. It just seemed like everything was coming down at the same time.
Right.
And I no sooner took 20 steps, I looked down, and I take garbage bags with me when I go to the park, and I pick the garbage up. If it's a wrapper, I don't care what it is, I'll pick it up. Because we need to keep, it's Mother Earth. We need to keep her clean.
Yes.
We need to keep her tidy.
Absolutely.
We converge with her lots.
Yes.
We enjoy her rivers. We enjoy her grass.
Yes.
So let's take care of her, right? So
absolutely.
I was walking. No sooner did I take 20 steps, but there was a lid, a twisted up kind of lid on the ground, and it was blue. And I looked at it, and I just burst out laughing because it said Miracle Whip on it. And I really needed a vehicle. This was probably a week. It started going through mechanical problems.
Sure. Yeah.
And I needed something that was going to, either fix it or replace it. And so within, I don't even know the short amount of time.
It wasn't very long.
It wasn't very long. I had the people jump in and say, okay, you need this. We're going to make this work.
Aww.
And this is what we're going to do. And boom, I was able to purchase the car and the SUV. It was just fascinating how it all worked out, you know, and being the spiritual person that I am, I don't ignore that call.
Right.
And I watch for signs all the time, right? So,
and because you were watching for signs, you saw something that encouraged you within moments.
Yes.
And gave you hope, even though you still didn't have the answer.
Yeah, no.
You just had the hope.
I found the lid.
That's here it is. And so getting to where you need to be, because I know we talked about something one day, which I think a lot of people might be aware of, that the Medicine Hat housing and whatnot really helped to get a lot of people off the streets and move them out to the very, what we call that, the southwest corner of the city, and got them into housing. But all of a sudden I was talking to you one day and I said, that's such a miracle. And you said, yes. But what we're realizing is it moved them away from all the downtown food distribution.
Right.
And so you had made a commitment as a team that you were going to go all the way over there and take the food to where the people were. And I think that those are some of the most beautiful aspects of what you guys are doing. Is it's very fluid. Whatever the need is. It's not like, okay, well, here's what we do.
I need to also add that my WASN also stepped forward.
Yes.
I, work with the agencies, and where we felt the need, it was plummeting cold weather. My WASN was able to step in and actually house them along with community housing.
Yes, thank you.
I want to specifically add, when I was out in the community that night, doing what I was, gathering people, community housing was also out there doing the legwork.
Yes. And
those ladies, I have not commended them, but they need to be commended because of the fact that they were out there too. After 7, 8 o'clock, whatever time it was, after hours, I don't even know.
Is that it's not any one person?
No.
It isn't one organization. It is a community that is very diversified and is coming at life from different obligations and associations, but you're coming together. And what a beautiful thing for you to do, honestly, Chick, is to remind us that it isn't just one person out there, but it's a team of you.
Yes.
And we invite you today, to the viewers at home, we just invite you to be part of this amazing work that's going on right here, feet on the street, right here in the Hat. And let's just remind our viewers again how best to get a hold of you guys if they want to help in any way, whether financially, with time and donations, whatever. How did they get a hold of you all?
Our Facebook page for myself.
For sure.
Okay.
I do want to mention really quick that we have other organizations helping us, like Christopher's Helping Hand in Calgary works with the Drop-In Center, works with Okotoks Mission in Okotoks, etc. They bring us a lot of the supplies that we get to as well. I saw
there was the Facebook page is really fun.
Yes.
Because you see these guys, they're loaded up. The van is like completely loaded up, and they're just like, we're on our way to the Hat, right?
Yes.
I love that. And what you don't know is that your story is going to be part of our Rogers community. We are now going to be broadcasting into even the Red Deer area. So some of the solutions you guys are coming up with will probably be shared, and encouragement to a whole lot of us who do love, we just love that whole idea of working together in unity and believing.
It's working from the heart.
From the heart.
It's working from the heart, and we won't accept anything less. Do you see what I mean?
Absolutely.
We have no time for that now. It's all about healing.
Yes.
And working from the heart.
Absolutely.
Right? And so.
And here we are.
Working.
And it is working, and it has grown. Well, like you said, if it's not about the heart, then is it really going to help solve these challenges, right?
Yeah.
So ladies.
So let's all work together and just do what we can. That's all it's about.
Thank you, ladies, for sharing this time with us. Thank you to Rogers TV for allowing us to have these community-based programs. We don't take it lightly. We appreciate it so much. And most importantly, if there's a way that you can also be involved in your community, helping with those that are less fortunate, helping those who have a vision to change our world, come alongside of them and just be part of this amazing solution. We thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you again on Talking Hats.